Howdy, good morning. My name's Rob and you're watching Junk Monkey Treasures. Here's the plan. Don't got one. We got one thing going out of here, actually two things, because yesterday was a holiday. The other thing was in yesterday's video. And today we have a bread machine paddle. Keep telling you guys about these. We got $30 plus shipping in them for this one. Customers all in like $45 after taxes, because it's not going to cost that much to ship it. But it's kind of a two-prong hit right here, because yesterday early I turned down flat a lowball offer for it. And then last night, late or early this morning, it sold for full asking price at $29.99 plus shipping. So that's a good thing. We spent most of the day out here working in the shop yesterday, and it got a lot done, but it sure doesn't feel like it. So today we're going to go and do what we can to find you guys some treasure to look at. Hopefully it'll be something quick, something good, and plenty of it, and we can get back here to the shop and get some more of this work done. I have got to get these live shows preloaded, which means I've got to get this stuff clean. I set everything up to start doing that yesterday, so that might be what we're doing. So after the thrifting part of this video, you might get a little bit more behind the scenes, how I clean things and that kind of stuff. So like and subscribe, come along for the ride. Let's go see if we can find some treasure. And just like that, we are in the collector's market here in Medford, Oregon. It's one of the antique malls that I like to shop in, and we have a booth that is known to carry really good glass, and they're having a 20% off all merchandise sale. So we are going to look and see if we can find one of the pieces that was priced right where we can get it for 20% off and be happy. Of course, there's stuff piled up right where I need to stand in order to reach things. There's a little acro agate. Well, I'm not sure what you call it, if it's a vase or a toothpick holder or what. It's the hand holding a cup. They want 18 for it, minus 20% would be about $3 off. So 15 I can't quite get there. There's a vase up there that I know I've looked at before, but I can't remember. Unsigned, unmarked, $17, but again, about somewhere in the neighborhood of $3 off for it. So I'd like to get that for 10 or 12. I can't quite get there today. There's a persimmon orange, I'd say vase. And they want $34 for it. I don't know. Here's a pretty bottle, $39. No, well, so far, there's a piece of Fenton up there. That's Amberina hobnail. I'm trying to reach up in there. They want $24 for it. I don't think I can get there on it. Let's do something different with that piece, because I know I'm not the only one that's going to be reaching for it. That is a beautiful piece of glass. But we're not looking to spend $65 on anything today, even if it is 20% off. We're just shopping. We're looking for those great deals. Big fish up there is neat, but there's no way I can reach it. Well, shoot. Glass floats, but are they the real ones or the... Oh, they're heavy enough. No marking. No markings. I think they're all going to be no markings. I don't know how they call that North Shore, Japan, but maybe they know something I don't. I know these with actual markings on them are the ones that collectors look for. All right, folks, I'll bring you back in when we find something. Well, that caught my eye. It's a giraffe ceramic planter. That's vintage for sure, but it's unmarked. What do they want for it? Ooh, yeah. Oh, thank you. I like stuff like that, but I like to get it a bit cheaper. That magnetic? Yeah. There's usually a piece or two in here that's nice. This is some more of that pink and green Naples glass that everybody calls Murano. They're calling this one Scottish. Lassart. I don't think so. That's made in Naples, Italy. This stuff is always getting misidentified. We've seen that before. It's a Costa Boda vase that they want $45 for. See if any of those lamps or anything I'm interested in. Nope. All right, I'll bring you back in if I find something. I was just checking out one of the end caps, and that is a piece of Fifth Avenue crystal, which I like Fifth Avenue crystal. Some of it, not all of it, but some of it rivals Murano, in my opinion. It just doesn't carry the value. And I love the pinup art stuff, but they want $6 for a shot glass, so we'll leave that here. I don't think it's really all that old. But I thought I'd show you guys that, just things that catch my eye. I mean, there are days when I just don't find anything, and it's okay. Sometimes I just get to go and look and learn stuff. Like that giraffe planter we saw earlier. I'll probably go back and give it a second look. I mean, I'm not going to buy it, not for $65, but I might go ahead and Google lens it, see if I can find any more information on it. See where they got their $65 price from. $7. Ooh, super cracked. Yeah. That's going to be a hard pass. What in the world? Oof. Lovelace. My Jen? Sin? That's a hobbyist piece for sure. Alright, that is a jumbled up pile of mess. I'm going to look through it. If I find anything in that jumbled up mess, I will bring you back in. If you have a booth in one of these vendor malls or antique malls and it looks like this, you're failing. Found another booth. It's got 20% off. See, I've looked at this ashtray before and I really like it. And they've got it marked down to 40 minus 20%. It's about $8 off, so it'd still be $30. I honestly don't think it's got, well, no, it's marked 1970. I don't know if you can, there it is. I don't know if you could see that, but it's a 1970 piece. I don't know what that is or where it came from, but we'll put it back. So that's worth thinking about. If I was just made out of money, that would go home with me. I don't know where I'd put it, but let's see if we got anything else. Some ceramic dogs. We've looked at those character glasses before. That dead-eye Elmer Fudd just freaks me out. Ah, that's a cute little squirrel. Planter. It's
It's a hobbyist piece, but they signed it. And they want $22 for it. Ooh, tiki mug. That they want $22 for, made in Taiwan. Yeah, I don't think so. It's a great price for a tiki collector. There's an L.E. Smith turkey. They want $25 for it. Not bad. And there's my Westmoreland dragon-footed bowl. Argonaut, I think is the name of it. We know where there's one in the blue glass that we like a little better. Oop, sorry. Catfish shoe for $15. That's interesting. Lusterware. Yeah. Ooh, that blue glass fish vase back there is neat. No for sale signs. All right, folks, I'll bring you back in when we find something. Tell you what, I see another 20% off booth right here beside us. We'll go ahead and look through that before I turn the camera off. Yeah. Nothing there. All right, now I'll bring you back in when I find something. We found a piece of Fenton that's not priced to the moon. They're calling it 1970s. It is thumbprint. It's got the little cadmium orange crest on it. It does not have the embossing for the Fenton label. So it's pre-1972. So I'm thinking it's probably 60s, maybe 50s. But for $11, I think we can add that to the Fenton collection. I noticed the other night that I have way too much milk glass and Silvercrest. I need some color. There's a vase up there for $10, but I think we're going to leave that one. That's an import. What is this? That's an ashtray. Probably Murano. They want $25 for it. There's another one that they want $35 for. They're calling it Bullicante, but that is not Bullicante. That is actually controlled bubble. It is different than Bullicante. Bullicante refers to bubbles that look like the bubbles in champagne. Which I never understood, because when I lived in Italy, anything that had bubbles like champagne, you'd call it frizzante. But who am I? All right, I'll bring you back in if we find something else. Here is a fun yellow vase. It's a good size vase too. I mean, it's big. For $10, I'm just not sold on it though. Yellow's a hard color to come by in the glass world. And it is an overlay. It's got some work on it. I'm just not sure I like the Ponto mark on it. It could be made in China and one of those pieces that was sold at Target or World Market or Home Design or one of those type of places. So we'll leave that one here. So everything in that stack was modern. A couple of vintage pieces here. There's a little number 2. There is an unmarked 3-notch with a wear ring or a cooking ring, heat ring, but somebody was restoring this piece with electric sander, grinder. Listen, if you want to do that to your pan because you want to cook with it, more power to you. Here's an older Wagner ware, but not terribly old, and I think it's a number 5. I don't know, what do they want for this one? $22, not a bad price. That's just something we'll have to think about. I still have a big stack of cast iron at home that I need to finish restoring before I go buying anything else, unless it's just a great slam dunk deal. I think we've looked at that great big Empoli piece. Yeah, it says as is. It's cracked, chipped, or something. All right. This booth looks new to me. Nope, I've seen this booth before. I recognize all these paperweights. And I doubt that they've come down off of their prices. This panda is really cool, but I'm not paying $23 for it. And the penguins are really cool. $16. If it was just a little bit cheaper. We'll think on it. I'm thinking hard. Can you smell the smoke? There is a little purple glass bird. Said Sweden. Yeah, I can go with that. I don't see any signatures on it, but for $23, we'll leave him here. But those penguins, they've got my attention. I might come back for them. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since the last time I was here. They haven't sold. Maybe they won't sell between now and the next time. I need paperweights. There's a pretty little piece of blue opalescent glass, 3-footed, National Glass Company. Okay. I would have guessed Northwood, but a bunch of ruby glass, some cobalt plates. I had somebody on Facebook the other day that was looking for Silvercrest 10.5-inch plates, and I have scoured the valley. I'm sure I saw a stack of them somewhere, but I just can't find them. There's only one other place they could be, and I'd take you guys out there, but that place has got some of the most ridiculous prices you've ever seen. There are a couple of people who bought out an entire antique store and just moved everything into a new building and priced everything 2 to 3, sometimes 5 times fair market value on everything. Another Murano bowl ashtray, $39. I love these things, but the market on them is just terrible right now. They're only selling for $20 to $25 if you can find somebody to buy them. There's an Empoli. They want $35 for it. There's a little persimmon orange, $16.50. Probably not a bad price. I don't know what it is, but she's cute. Who are you? You have the look of Fenton, but are you? They say it's Fenton. It is Fenton, fully marked. $55. I don't blame you. I would want that much for it, too. Cobalt blue praying angel. See, they're calling this one Mosser, which probably is, but most Mosser glass, or Moser glass, however you pronounce it, has an M on it. I don't see the M on this one. Moser didn't mark everything. They bought a lot of old molds, and sometimes they make it in colors that were never available from the original manufacturer, so they don't put the M on it. But when they do use similar colors, they put the M on it. At least that's the story I've been told. Siamese cat for $24.50 if you had a longer neck and a little better paint job on them eyes. That is a Fifth Avenue crystal perfume. Absolutely beautiful with that Submerso technique. That would be like the layers of color you see. What do they want for it? $27.50. It's beautiful, but it's... Remember I was telling you earlier, Fifth Avenue crystal rivals Murano. That is one of the pieces that rivals Murano. I don't care what anybody else says. It's up there. If that was guaranteed Murano, it'd probably be $75 to $150. Here's another piece. You can see the Submerso. And people will tell you that Murano Submersible is always perfectly even. That is not true. Let's see, Fifth Avenue, and they want 45 for it. I don't blame them. Fifth Avenue is beautiful glass, even if it is made in China. Big old piece of flow blue. Mexican folk art. Okay, yeah, I can see that. But it has that flow blue look to it. Let's see. All right, folks, I'll bring you back in when we find some glass trivia for you. If you run into these top hats, a lot of different companies made it. And you always want to know if it's Fenton or Westmoreland or Imperial. I've been told that the hats with the larger shapes on the side that are plain is Imperial and not Fenton. I have a Westmoreland one at home. I know it's Westmoreland because it has the original sticker on it. So I will try to remember to give it a look when we get home. I don't think I have any Fenton hats right now, but next time we run into a Fenton hat that has an original label or marking on it, we'll double check that theory about the larger buttons on the side. The particular booth always has a major sale going on, but they price everything way above market price. For instance, that vase, they've got it marked for like 40 bucks. It's a modern anthropology vase, and even at 40% off $40, that's still too much. There's a blue pitcher back there, very, very cool shape to it, but it's a hobbyist piece, and they've got it marked for $22, and even at 40% off, that'd be a good price for a collector just for the color, if you just fell in love with it. But you just can't. Look, here's a matching anthropology vase for $37, take 40% off. It's modern. Even at 40% off, it's too much. Here's a ceramic turtle. Looks Mexican. There's a shell. Yeah, Puerto Vallarta. And they want 25 at 40% off. Probably not a bad price, except it says Puerto Vallarta on it, so we know it is a tourist piece, which most Mexican folk art pottery is, but that probably was not a bad buy on that turtle. People that do that, I don't really care to do business with them. Ooh, one of the two big Mexican pottery pieces is gone. The swan is still here. It's got a busted up beak, though. All right. You guys let me know if you see something that I miss. But for now, I'm going to turn the camera off and bring you back in when we find something. He is not having a good time. He's having a really rough night. Oof. Feel for you, buddy. That's not the way you want to wake up after you've had a night out drinking. There's a little silver overlay compote. I only want $4 for it. That's not bad. I've already got a piece or two of that, though, that I need to find new homes for. I hate having too many of one thing in my live sales. So if I get 3 or 4 pieces of something like that, I generally pass them up when I find them again until I need them. They're not very high-priced items. There's a couple out there that, with the right signature on them, they can be worth a little bit more. And I have found 1 or 2 pieces of that. There's some Fenton amber thumbprint ruffled and crimped bowl for $16. Pre-72, but trying to stay away from amber. They want $30 for that. There's another piece of amber for $28. There is a piece of cranberry for $38. Spring green, colonial green, whatever green that Fenton calls that. They want $20 for it. I've never found a piece that glows, but I always do my due diligence and check it. Yeah, no glow. So we will leave. There's a Viking green. They want $40 for it. Pretty sure the Viking green doesn't glow either. Nope. Pretty pieces, but just not much market for them right now. All right, this piece catches my eye. All right, tag, work with me here. Confetti candle holder, $12. Ooh, it's marked. This is from the Lincoln glass place, I think, out in Oregon. Yep. 2021 Oregon Coast. This is from Lincoln City Glass. $12. Ooh. I want it, but I think we're gonna think on it for just a minute. We'll make another round before we leave, and if it catches my eye again, it might come home with me. There's a painted basket. Westmoreland, I think. Yep. $14. Ruby red, hand-painted floral. That's a 5-finger back there, made in Taiwan, I think. Or it may be what the 5 fingers do. No, that's definitely a made in Taiwan 5-finger vase. There's a controlled bubble vase up here I want to get a better look at. What do they want for it? 18, that's not bad. There's another piece of that silver overlay. Very pretty. If I didn't already have 2 or 3 pieces of it, I would take that home because the silver's in fantastic condition. Well, all right, let's move on. Some Fenton milk glass hobnail. There's a tidbit tray. An Avon compote. Hobnail milk glass vase. What else do they have in this booth? They got all their best stuff down there low. They need to have that at eye level. See if there's anything interesting in this one. Nope. All right, folks, I'll bring you back in a minute. You guys, these are the Matt Johansson crystal sculpture things. And I used to buy these, especially if they were signed, which this one is, and it used to have the sticker. And I would price them, and they wouldn't sell. So I'd come down on the price, and invariably somebody on eBay would contact me and say, oh my God, these are worth so much more money. I said, well, then buy them from me. They're like, well, I'm not buying right now, but I'm like, well, they're not worth that much money then. Because nobody else thinks they are but you, and you won't pay it either. So I kind of steer away from those now. I mean, if I found one at a garage sale for 50 cents, I'd buy it. They're calling that Murano. It is not Murano. Ooh. This is the final aisle. There's a big piece of Ozark art glass, 2 swans. I ran into a miniature one that was very bright and colorful, and it had just the tiniest little flea bite on the tip of his beak, and I walked away from it. I've regretted that ever since. The Sooner glass or Ozark art glass is not very valuable, but there is a collector base for it out there. They don't like paying for it any more than I do, so. Toys. Holland mold Christmas tree, missing a bunch of the lights. I don't really like getting the holiday stuff. I'm always afraid it won't sell and I'll be stuck with it for another year. I know these. It's like made in Holland. Yep. Belgium, this one. What do they want for it? $24. Nah. I've got a couple now, and they're not moving, so nice as they are, I'll leave them. There's some more character glasses. Yosemite Sam is just about wore completely off of there. Here's another Avon weighted container. Christmas stuff. It's a gourd. I've looked at that little Carnival Dash compote so many times. They want $55 for it. It is not worth $55. That's like double fair market value on it. And there's some loud people over there. I'm gonna turn the camera off. If I find something in this back corner worth looking at, I'll bring you back in. This booth isn't having a sale right now. They got a few pieces here worth looking at. Now, that is a Magnum paperweight, but it's made in China. If you see the black fins on the fish in a paperweight, that's almost a dead sign that it's Chinese. It's got the satin bottom. They only want $25 for it. Not bad. Ooh, there is a Millefiore turtle. Chinese. 45. Yeah, they think it's Murano. It's not. It is not a $45 piece. And there is a starfish or a sea star, depending on who you talk to. That has two more sea stars in it. Chinese. And they want 21 for it. With the exception of the turtle, not horrible prices, and if they had 20 or 40% off, I'd buy them. With the exception of the turtle, which I would love to buy for 10 to 15, but not paying 45 for it. All right, folks, I'm gonna go take a quick run around the front of the building where I've got my piece of Fenton and my big cooker. If I find anything up there, I'll bring you in and show it to you. Otherwise, I'll see you back at the shop.
Well, that was a fun trip into my local antique mall. And got to see a lot of neat stuff. Got to look a few things up. I never did go back and re-look up that giraffe. May have to take another trip in there to take some pictures of it so we can do a little research on it. But you may notice there's something missing off the table. That big Magnolite 17-quart roaster pot. I have bought those roasters before, and the last one that I bought, not my little roasterette, it's in the house full of Postalaia right now, but the last normal size Magnolite roasting pan that I bought, I got it home just to find out that the pot itself was warped and you couldn't get the lid to fit on it. And when you start beating and banging on it trying to straighten it out, I just kept making it worse. So that was a bad day. Anyhow, when I got up to the front to check out and pay for my items, I said, let me check this thing, make sure it's not bent or anything, make sure the lid works. And sure enough, it was bent in 3 places. One of the 3 places was badly kinked. And I know from experience, you go to trying to work a kink like that out of an aluminum pot, it's very likely to break. So we ended up leaving that behind. But we did come home with the ruby red thumbprint, cadmium orange crested Fenton compote. It'll go great in our collection of Fenton, and that Fenton sale is coming soon. So hang around for that. I'll let you know when a Fenton sale's coming. I am going to be selling a little bit of my Fenton collection on November the 22nd over on Knickknacks. If you want information about that, hit me up in the comments. I'll guide you through it. But that's what we got for today's video. I appreciate you coming along with me. It means the world to me. And I hope to see you in a future one. So y'all come back now. You hear?